Hello and welcome to ChapterSkip. I'm Sean.
And I'm Joe.
And I'm Mark. And we're bringing you movie reviews with a twist.
And we're reviewing the movie, The World's End.
Alright, Mark.
Sean, what are you doing?
Nothing much. You?
I'm looking to convince you and Joe to go on a pub crawl with me. Like the good old days.
Is Joe up for it?
Yeah, that's the thing. I need you to call round his house. See if you can get him. He's not answering my calls.
Alright, but if I have to see him in his pants one more time, I'm not going to be a happy bunny.
Cheers, mate. I'll see you at the Sleeping Giant.
I thought I was getting Joe.
No, the pub, the Sleeping Giant.
Oh, I see.
See you in a bit.
Alright.
The long-awaited Blood and Ice Cream trilogy is finished. And this film, The World's End, completes the saga.
This flick, as with the others in the Cornetto series, are written and directed by Edgar Wright, who most of you will know is responsible for directing Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Spaced, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and is also in pre-production for the 2015 release of Ant-Man.
And Wright's partner in crime, Simon Pegg, also helped in penning this movie.
Much like he did with Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz.
The plot of this movie is a simple one when looked at on the whole. 5 school friends once went on a bender so awesome, so epic, that 20 years later Gary King, played by Simon Pegg, is still dreaming about it to this day.
The main reason that he's so fixated on the pub crawl is because, unfortunately, the friends never completed their quest as alcohol and other substances took their toll on the group, and they never made it to that final pub that was known as The World's End.
The friends who joined Gary on this epic drink-fueled journey are his best and probably only friends. Oliver, or O-Man, played by Martin Freeman, Peter, played by Eddie Marsan, Stephen, played by Paddy Considine, and of course Andrew, played by Nick Frost.
There you are! I thought you'd still be in bed.
No, I'm a changed man these days. I like getting up early and having a head start on the day.
Well, enough of the pleasantries. Let's get our drink on. Sorry there, Joe. Who are your friends? Come on, Terry. Tell Terry, Tubby, tell Mondo. You know us. 3 horsemen of the alco-apocalypse. Eh? We hadn't drink. Well, fine, sir. We shall have 3 of your tastiest British ales.
Actually, I'll have a bottle of Highland Spring, triple filtered, glacier, mineral water. And an outlet to plug my straighteners in, please. And also, could you turn the aircon up? Because this humidity makes my hair go all frizzy.
What? This is meant to be a pub crawl, not a bloody hair appointment. Bloody hell!
Did he just say... Ah, never mind. What's the matter with him today?
I don't know. Well, he's always been a bit of a petulant ogre, hasn't he?
That's a good name for a band. Should write that down.
Right, get your drinks down, you two, and then we're off to the next pub. My personal favourite, Grumpy Troll.
That's an even better name.
20 years have passed since that day, and Gary has decided to track down his friends and once more embark upon that most epic of pub crawls. The problem is that, unfortunately for Gary, his friends have all moved on and don't really consider that day back in Newton Haven to be anything that special, and he's going to have his work cut out for him if he's going to try and convince them to join him. Especially when there's nothing sadder than a guy who's pushing 40 and acting childish in a lame attempt to try and capture a missed opportunity from his youth.
Once the pub crawl gets underway, everything seems fine.
Yeah, well, as fine as can be expected when a bunch of middle-aged men go out drinking together. Although, as so much time has passed since they were last in Newton Haven, their hometown now feels strange and, dare I say it, alien?
Yeah, especially when there's something not quite right about the town's residents. Almost as if they seem a little bit, I don't know, robotic maybe?
And before there's time to get properly settled into the drinking, gnawing on some scratchings, and chucking some quids in the fruity, all manner of shit goes down.
And what better way to let off some of that pent-up aggression than partaking in that other great British tradition that's part and parcel of going on a pub crawl, and that is the pub fight. Have it! Joe! What are you doing?
Oh, sorry, I fell asleep. I don't drink a lot these days. It made me really tired.
Where's Sean?
I don't know, he was rabbiting on about something. That's why I fell asleep. So boring.
Oh, and I killed that attention-seeking badger ballsack.
IMG, mate, that's a sick name for a band.
What's OMG mean?
Oh my god, don't you know?
No, that's why I'm asking you. Oh my god, I don't understand all this overused mind-numbing grammar.
There you go, you got it.
Overused mind-numbing grammar.
OMG, Mark. WTF.
Oh my god, what the fuck are you talking about?
Chill out, Grumpy Dumpty.
That'd be a good name for a band.
OMG, Mark, you just don't get it, do you?
If you're familiar with Wright and Peg's style of comedy, then you'll know that it's witty, clever, quick and full of nerdy references. And I can safely say that The World's End continues in that very tradition.
And if you're a fan of the past movies, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, this is a must-see.
And if you are familiar with those movies, then you're probably going to get a lot more from this film than anyone who's not seen them yet. For those that haven't watched those movies yet, go and watch them right now, or at least as soon as we finished anyway, because they're great films. Once you've seen them, then you can go and watch The World's End. Not that you do really need to be familiar with the other movies to enjoy The World's End, as they're really a trilogy in name only.
Yeah, as each movie has its own separate story that deals with a completely different set of characters, situations and themes. There's a many number of cameos in this movie, and hardcore fans of the TV series Spaced will be very happy to see Mark Heap and Julia Deakin.
There's also appearances by Rafe Spall, Reece Shearsmith, Bill Nye, Nicholas Burns.
And there's an actor in here that we're not going to name, but you probably had a bond with him a while back.
Now, this film is hilarious, and that just proves that time after time, movie after movie, Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright still have the wit and the brains to come up with some priceless dialogue.
Yeah, which on the surface is really whimsical, but when you look deeper into it, it's even funnier because a lot of their comedy comes from other comedy. Not that they're ripping it off, they're just making a joke of a joke within a joke. Like some sort of jokeception.
There were so many awesome things in this movie, but to stop you guys getting bored, we'll just name a few.
Yeah, I really love the dynamic between Peg and Frost's characters of Gary and Andy. I also really love that there were several underlining reasons for Gary to want to go on this epic pub crawl, rather than the simple story of Gary just wanting to get drunk and complete something he never managed to years ago. There's his character flaws coming into play, there's the fractured friendships in the picture, plus there's that whole element of just wanting to relive your best days with your best buds one last time. And for all those reasons, I could personally identify with that part of the story, and of the characters too. But not so much the crazy blue blood aliens with headlights for eyes, although if I were ever faced with an unstoppable menace like that, I would definitely bust out my best wrestling moves.
OMG, Mark, I mean WTF.
Really, stop it with all the abbreviations.
BTW, Mark. They're called acronyms.
I don't care what they're called. We've got to do something about these two Seans. Sean! Yeah, we know that's the real you, because you're not as good looking as that other one. That means that must be like a robot or an alien or something. Come here.
How did you figure out it was me?
Oh, if there's one thing I know, it's my best mate, Sean.
How did you know I wasn't the imposter and not him?
Come on, Sean. We knew you'd never leave the house looking like this.
Good point.
Barkeep, 3 beers, 3 chasers, 3 packets of scratchers, please, mate.
Cheers, Mark.
Yeah, these are for me. You two can go and get your own bloody drinks. The best thing about this movie, apart from the great cast, the brilliant performances, the comedy, the action, the effects, the soundtrack, alright, pretty much everything really, but the best thing is the attention to detail. There are so many clever little things going on that you just won't pick them up in a single viewing. And while some are more obvious, such as the relevance of the pub names, there's a ton of other little things going on that make this movie perfect for repeat viewings. That is what really makes this film stand out for me, as there's clearly a lot of care and attention being put into it that you just don't see that often. So where in any other film the focus is on the main characters and the background is just there to help establish the scene, here there are a lot of things hidden away that just show that it really is those little details that matter.
The only thing I didn't like about this film was the very ending. Otherwise, it was a freaking fantastic film. And my likes far outweigh my dislikes, as there was so much to love about the film. I enjoyed the characters, as they all had unique traits about them that played well together. There were a few unexpected twists and turns within the film which were awesome too. On the whole, I think a lot of people would get a massive kick out of watching this film. And the movie on a whole had me smiling from ear to ear the whole way through. Unfortunately, that was right up until the very end. The last 5 or 10 minutes made my Cheshire cat grin turn into a sort of weird, worried, confused smirk. So it's not the perfect movie, but still a bloody cracking one. It's a must-see, it just needed a better ending in my humble opinion.
This is a brilliant movie, and I urge you all to go out and see it as soon as you can. Just sit back, watch it, and have a bloody good time. Then, once you've watched it, go back and watch it again. But on your second viewing, watch out for all those clever little details that we spoke about earlier, be it the cameo appearances from returning actors, such as the Wilson twins, who I'm sure I spotted in there, to other things, such as the numbers that are cleverly hidden in the pubs. Just in case you're not sure what I'm saying, here it is again. Go and watch this movie, and if you can, go and watch it a second time.
This film had everything and it definitely lives up to the hype. It had awesome action, comedy and some of the best special effects I've seen in a UK film to date. Edgar Wright, you done it again. I was hooked on this drink-drenched alien adventure till the bitter end. Or lager end, whichever you prefer.
Thanks for watching this review for The World's End. Now, we really haven't read or heard any bad reviews for this film, but if you guys have a differing opinion, we'd love to hear it. You can leave a comment down below, or you can get in touch with us via Facebook and Twitter. All the links are in the description. And we'd really love for you to subscribe to this channel too. Thanks. Oliver
Shibda?
Who?
Stephen, played by Paddy Considine.
Penny has decided to track down his friends and once more Nicholas Burns.
And another one. Sorry, I didn't know where it was. There were so many awesome parts of this movie, but to not to give them.
Ground is yes, there.
That was right up until the end. The last 10 to 5 minutes, that might 10 to 5 minutes. I was going 10 to 15 minutes, then I just said 10 to 5. 10 to 5. 10 to 5. You know, we go back in time and watch the last 5 minutes again.
Watch the end, then watch the end, then the start to the end.